was also in National Defense Headquarters and the Director of Electronic Warfare, which is the highest echelon you can go that we have in Canada. So it was my responsibility to give support to the Canada's only Army EW squadron. So I know a lot about frequencies. At one time I would definitely have been considered like an expert in electronic warfare or signals intelligence. I worked very closely with the NSA. You've heard about them, the National Security Agency, for many, many years. So we went from kilo to mega to giga, okay? Now this is where you start getting into harmful stuff to the body and the brain in particular. All of the devices today, from a baby monitor to a cell phone tower to a cordless phone, they all emit what is called low level, meaning very weak signals, pulsed, non-thermal microwave radiation. And that's what's harmful. And all of these agencies, which I'll tell you about later, none of them recognize it. They said at the very bottom that the pulse radiation is even worse. Look what he said in the State of the Union address. I mean, it's shocking to look back and that the people of the USA were already concerned about radiation. 1975, this is the US Defense Intelligence Agency. It warned its own personnel of the risk from low-level EMR, including microwave sickness, which was discovered first by the Germans in 1933. This is 2015. I'm talking about 1933. But Health Canada is trying to tell you and me that we don't know about this stuff. But they went on to say that this is the Defense Intelligence Agency, and they would know. They warned their own people about that this stuff causes cancer back then, and yet our government today denies it today. He especially condemned Health Canada's Safety Code 6, and that's what governs you and me, the amount of radiation our government allows us to be exposed to. He also went on to talk about this document 1976. He said it's the most despicable, this is the U.S. Defense Intelligence, it's the most despicable document ever published, because it says the document lists all of the health hazards caused by wireless devices and concludes that this should be kept secret to preserve industrial profit. So the wireless was just starting to begin at that time, so their scientists said that pulse, non-thermal, radio frequency, microwave radiation should be designated as a class 2B, or like a possible carcinogen, which is what it is today. But this is 25 bloody years ago, you know. It's the corruption that's allowed this to stay hidden the way it is. Every military of any consequence in the world today has a huge arsenal of microwave weapons. They can stop a raging bull charging at you dead in its tracks with the right frequency. U.S. President Bill Clinton, he issued a formal memorandum, a written memorandum saying that cell phone towers should not be on schools or in residential areas. What is happening today? And yet in the Russian federal government, they have a no man's land around cell phone towers of seems to me, I want to say it's like 2 kilometers. So Carl went out, and it was the biggest study ever done in the U.S. in cell phones. 6-year, $28.5 million US, and lo and behold, the longer the study went on, the worse the results became, to the point where they knew unequivocally the cell phones were caused damage. So, by the way, make note of that name, Michael Repicoli. He's one of the most reviled individuals on this earth. Set up these egregiously high radiation levels for Health Canada, ICNIR, and WHO. And now he works for industry, defending their technology around the world. What's important is the relative number. The smaller the number, of course, the safer. Look at this, back in 02. Look right down here. There's ICNIR, Michael Repicoli, 10 million. Okay, look at that. I mean, is that not obscene or what? And that's the increase, if you like, of wireless technology and the corresponding increase in all the diseases, everything of the brain. ADD, autism, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, you name it. And in their patent application, which you can look at yourself, it's on the internet, in their patent application, they admit the dangers of their own phones. Do you know that the industry is already supposedly lobbying Congress to bail them out when the crash comes? Because I'm serious. The crash is coming. It's like a balloon that's about to burst. If enough people get informed, they'll stop this. There's Belo Horizonte. So you imagine if you live within 100 meters of a cell phone tower, look at the cancer deaths. If you double the distance, you cut the rate in half. China's experimenting with fiber optic cable. They're all safe, harmless. European Parliament, 47 countries, 800 million people. And they came out, they made a statement, they said that Parliament recognized for the very first time the biological, like the non-thermal effects of electromagnetic fields on living plants, animals, and people. The need now is to protect citizens from EMR, particularly pregnant women, newborn babies, and children. It's all about Zigbees. But there have been 1,000 products licensed now to use wireless in your house. So you've got to be careful what you're buying. They did a study, the sales of smart appliances in 2012 was $613 million. But they forecast that by 2020, it'll be $34.9 billion US. That's the wrong thing. Because they're now saying that Canada, to comply, would have to lower its radiation level by 3 to 6 million tons. Preposterous but true. Look for yourself. Just Google bioinitiative.org. It's the most 1,473 pages, but there's one section of just conclusions, and it'll tell you that the radiation from your cell phone is indeed a carcinogen. Not a possible, not a probable, but a definite. Look at this. This is February. Insurance companies speak out. The school districts, you must bear this in mind for your own location here. School districts, school boards, medical health officers like Dr. Perry Kendall, they're not insured now. So they're in very, very tenuous positions for them to now authorize a smart meter or a Wi-Fi router now, given what the insurance company, they won't touch it. France has shown some real leadership. Just this year, they've divorced themselves from IGNR. They've established their own national radiation standard thing. They banned Wi-Fi from all kindergartens right across the country. And they said that those for older than 6 years of age, the Wi-Fi router must at least be turned off when it's not in use.